On the final day of the Paralympic Games in Paris, the para-canoeing events are sure to go out with a bang too. 5 A finals to complete the programme, B finals on the way as well. The weather is perfectly fair, if a little chilly, northeast of Paris. Slight cross headwind here. The temperature is 15 degrees here at the Nautical Stadium. The opening finals day threw up some absolutely tremendous racing, the highlight of which was Brian Guendouzi's magnificent men's KL3 win, bringing Algeria and indeed Africa the first ever para-canoeing medal. Curtis McGrath, Peter Kiss, Emma Wiggs successfully defended Paralympic titles from Tokyo. And McGrath and Wiggs are hunting down more golds today, by the way, in the men's VL3 and women's KL2 respectively. As too is Charlotte Henshaw of Britain, who was the first ever winner of the women's VL3 boat division. It's KL1, KL2, KL3 for the women's semis, followed by finals, men's VL2 and VL3 semis plus A finals. My name's Andy Budfitch. Alongside me in the commentary box is Megan Calmo, Olympic bronze medalist from London 2012. We're going to get underway here with the women's kayak single KL1 semi-finals after we see the Coupe de Baton performed today by Anne Dickens. Contributed to Britain's tremendous gold medal haul in the para-canoeing events at the Paralympic Games. She won KL3 gold in Rio 8 years ago. So here is our start list. KL1, the women's semi, number one, and some tremendous racing we look forward to today again here at Versailles, Megan.
Yeah, this is probably going to be our chilliest and maybe even our breeziest day down at the lake. Hopefully the conditions will continue to cooperate for our competitors and not play a role in today's racing.
From India, Pooja Ojha, who has been a three-time silver medalist at the World Champs VL1 boat earlier this year in Szeged, Eleonora de Paulus, a 38 from Velletri in Italy, just off the podium in Tokyo in the KL1. Fourth, Ji Mao Shan, 38 from China. And fifth in the KL1 in Tokyo, Brianna Hennessy has already written a new chapter for Canada's Paralympic athletes, delivering that nation's first ever medal of silver in the VL2. Andrea Brasamonte, 53 from Argentina. She has been a fourth place finisher in the VL1 at the World Champs. That happened 3 years ago in Copenhagen. We're looking here for the fastest three going into the A final. The women's KL1 is a boat class which has an A final only. I'm afraid it'll be over for those bottom two finishers in this race. Medina Muller, by the way, is the defending champion from Tokyo. She races in the second heat. Muller has the benchmark time as well in the Paralympic Games, 53.95. She set that in Tokyo on the Sea Forest Waterway, a slightly different facility, nautical facility here. 3 years on. Here at Versailles, rural setting, next to a country park with all its walking trails and wildlife to admire. And there's going to be plenty to admire out on the water here, next to the Marne River. Just 3 days, the para-canoeing at the Paralympic Games.
Ready, set,
And the last day of racing gets underway here. Semi-finals in the women's KL1. All races over 200 metres. There's a problem on the start line there for Brasamonte, the Argentine. So here we have basically our three qualifiers, led out by Chi Maoshan, the Chinese paddler, in lane 5. Next up is Brianna Hennessy. We've seen Hennessy have some speed out on the water already in this regatta. And then Ilona de Paulis, who drops off the back. She knows that she'll be through though, and Hennessy is trying to take down Maoshan as they come up to the line. These 200-metre races are over in double quick time. Hennessy may well have a finish here to start out the final day in the winning groove. It's going to be very close here between China and Canada as they come up to the line. Hennessy might well have it. It could be a photo. It's Hennessy from Xi. And then coming in third place, Eleonora de Paulis. So Canada, China and Italy in the middle lanes are going to go through. And Brasamonte, who had a dreadful start in truth, she really struggled to get those paddles in the water and get any kind of speed out of the traps. Goes out with Pooja Ojha of India. And we have our three qualifiers, 0.26, so just a shade over a quarter of a second separating Canada and China. Hennessy, 39, with that silver already in the VL2. A really productive couple of days here on the water for the Canadian. And Brasamonte is able to finish. Don't quite know what happened at the start there, as she struggled to get off the starting line clean, but comes in to finish this semi-final. And the crowd enjoy that, willing her over the line. Hennessy, that's nicely done in the first race of the day.
Well, we saw that really tight racing between Brianna Hennessy and Xi. No doubt these two are going to want to go toe-to-toe and really put the pedal down in this qualifying semifinal, because we have all three of our Tokyo medalists returning in this event. And I think Hennessy and the Chinese athlete are really interested in getting into the mix and seeing if they can knock one of these returners off the podium. So taking the top advancement spot out of this semi is going to put either of these athletes in a really good position to be really in the mix with those event leaders who have already gone through in day one. So that's a great effort from these two, really to go full gas despite being really clearly ahead of the field and easily kind of into qualifying position through this semi. Getting that top spot puts them in a middle lane and more kind of in the action in the middle of the course when they show up in the final.
Brianna Hennessy, Xi Maoshan, Eleonora de Paulis go through then to make the A final in the women's KL1. So the silver and the bronze medalists from Tokyo won their respective heats on day one. Catherine Wallerman, the Chilean, and Marina Majula. They were bronze and silver respectively, behind Edina Muller, who was second behind Majula in the heats on day one, 0.42 behind. So the defending champion from Tokyo has to race one extra race here to try and go through. Of course, we fully expect her to make it, we really do. But these are her competitors. Adriana Gomes Azevedo, of Brazil, lane 3, 46, was in the Tokyo event, finished 10th. Sergio Monaco. It's been a The four-time medalist at World Champs, Edina Müller, a big favourite here to go through. She will almost certainly make it. It's the 41-year-old's third Paralympic Games, silver and gold already, Rio and Tokyo. And then Jeanette Chippington, the absolute legend, is still going strong here at 54. The woman whose Olympic and Paralympic story started way back in Seoul in 1988. She's been on the podium in Rio and Tokyo as well, Jeanette. And she won this event 8 years ago on the lagoon.
Yeah, Jeanette Chippington, saw her on the water twice on day 2, having to come through the semifinals. And the other event she's competing here in Paris, the VL2, she was just off the podium in the VL2 final, finishing 4th.
Yeah.
So big day for her on day 2. See how that impacts her performance here on day 3.
Incredible success down the years and longevity. And formerly represented GB in para swimming.
Positions. Ready, set.
So 4 boats in this race, only the last place finisher will not progress. We're looking for the front 3, and Müller and Seriou in the middle lanes get out the quickest. Perhaps as expected, Edina Müller hits the front ahead of Monica Seriou. So it's going to be between Brazil and Britain, Adriana Gomez Azevedo and Jeanette Chippington to nail that last qualifying spot in the final. And at the moment, Chippington has it. It's all about whether Adriana Azevedo can finish strongly over the last 30 metres or so. Paralympic Games best time 53.95 from Edina Müller in Tokyo. So they all come in well under a minute here in this 200-metre race. The women's KL1, the second of 2 semi-finals, and Müller holding plenty back, I think, comes through for the win. And then it's Seriou, and Chippington makes another Paralympic para-canoeing A final, and Adriana Gomez Azevedo over there on the far side drops out. So Müller 57.10 wins that with plenty to spare. Inside a second of her was Seriou Monica from Japan, and Chippington is in the conversation again for more para-canoeing medals. That's fantastic to see the 54-year-old get through again to another gold medal race. Adriana Gomez Azevedo finishes in 1 minute 13.13. That's 3 seconds back. No surprises there in that heat.
Probably no surprises here. We did see our middle lane favorite of Edina Müller just getting out there and really just getting in control early on, making sure that she locked up that qualification position for herself. But Jeanette Chippington really had her feet to the fire here. This Brazilian athlete, Gomez de Azevedo, really did not let up in the second half of this race, making sure that Chippington was really going to earn her spot all the way to the line. But I think you're right. Müller, I think, has a little bit more to give, a little bit more in the tank for the final. So we should see something pretty special from her once we get everyone lined up for the final in this event. But great turn up from the Japanese athlete, Monica Seriou, reversing the results that she had against Jeanette Chippington at the World Championships this year by a couple of places. So that's a great turn up from her in this semifinal.
We'll be seeing these athletes again a little later in the gold medal race. Good crowd in again here at the Versailles Nautical Facility, as our final lineup is completed in the women's KL1 division after these 2 semi-finals that open the last day of racing here. Women's KL2, the next boat's out on the water. Again, we're going to see 2 semi-finals here, the top 3 of which will go through to join Katalin Varga and Charlotte Henshaw in the gold medal race. Henshaw of Britain is the defending champion for Tokyo. Japan, Israel, China, Germany, Hungary in this race. Miyajima Shiho finished down the order in the VL3 boat division. Her final finish of 13th there in her first Paralympic Games.
And in lane 2, from Japan, Shiho Miyajima.
Israel, Talia Eilat. She's at 26. It's a Euro champs bronze in the KL2, so how's form? Wang Danxin. 40 from Hangzhou, which is the city that hosted the Asian Para Games last year. We have Anja Adler, lane 5, Germany, 35, and then the Hungarian Baldessar just off the podium. Adler, by the way, in Tokyo with 4th place. Baldessar 10th already in the VL2, one of the youngest competitors here in the regatta. It's not over for those that don't go through, because we have a B final in the women's KL2.
It's so interesting that so many of these paddlers are able to compete in multiple boat classes at the Paralympics because of how demanding this sport can be. Just have a couple of our athletes in the semifinal who have already competed in their other doubling up boat classes, an athlete in the VL3 and an athlete in the VL2. So a lot of racing is required, especially if you don't advance directly through the heats in any of your events. But it just speaks to the level of these athletes and how capable they are of just showing up time after time in a very short racing program, only a couple of days here at the Canoe event in Paris.
Yeah, short and sweet here at the nautical facility. You can see there the cloud cover over this particular part of France. We've had quite a lot of rain this past week. So first things first, we're pleased it is dry out there, but there's absolutely no doubt that the temperatures have dropped a little. Now then, Anja, who's 35 from Halle, so 3 silver medals at the European champs, including in this KL2 division in Szeged earlier this year. The paddlers just drifting into those plastic boots or shoes that align the boats on the start line.
Thank you. Forward 6.
5 in the race here.
6, we will wait. Maybe go back, give yourself time. We will wait. 6.
Yeah, maybe the crosswind just being a little bit of a trick here for these paddlers trying to get lined up into those boots at the start. The texture on the water is indicating to us that the wind is coming from the top of the screen there, so out of the warm-up area and across the course. So just pushing these paddlers a little bit out of line with the boots as they're pulling up here. Ooh.
Hold your positions. Ready, set.
Away we go. Semi-final racing in the women's kayak single KL2. All race distances are 200 meters in para canoeing at these games, and that's speed from Anja Adler, who takes the lead. So this is hers to lose now. And Eilat going strongly, second place currently, the Israeli paddler. And then just to the inside, it's Wang showing a little bit of heat coming through, and is all set to take down Talia Eilat here, I think. But it's going to be Anja Adler's race. The Chinese paddler just hit in second place there, just getting that nose ahead of Eilat. But it is going to be Germany and China and Israel, with Japan and Hungary missing out. So Adler has it, comes through to win this semi-final, and then Wang with an impressive recovery, and Talia Elat as well for Israel gets the spot in the A final. Miyajima, Shiho, Dalma, Baldizar will drop into the B final here in the women's KL2. 53-63. Adler wins it, goes through. China and Israel join. There she is, 4th in Tokyo. And got a silver in the VAR, the VL3 at the World Champs 7 years ago. She's pretty seasoned, she's got a lot of experience, knows what she's doing out there, Anya Adler, and was never really in trouble in that semi-final. That's actually been a Euro champion.
Yeah, we really saw this Israeli athlete, Talia Elat, just come out of the gate swinging, see if she could throw something at Adler and rattle her out of the gates here. But Adler, being the most decorated athlete in this semifinal, not flustered by that, just really just going to work here. A little bit more patient out of the start, just getting into her rhythm and going to work, getting herself well out in front. A little more conservative start from the Chinese athlete Wang as well, just biding her time and knowing that she had the confidence to get through Eilat there in the middle of the race. No hurry, just smooth and in control there in the Chinese boat, just slowly making her way through, getting herself into that second qualification spot. That quick start did serve the Israeli athlete well, though. She got herself well into that 3rd place position, despite not being able to hold off those charges from the more experienced Adler and Wang.
53-63, so Varga in winning the heat 52, Charlotte Henshaw 51 seconds dead. Henshaw has the Paralympic Games best time, 57.6 from Tokyo. Adler just outside that, but again, mindful of the fact they'll be racing later. These paddlers just holding a little bit of powder dry for what comes later in the A final. Susan Seipel, the standout name here in the second semi in the women's KL2. Well, we've got a number of nations making their para-canoeing debut at the games here. Egypt and Thailand being 2 of those nations, and they have paddlers in this race. Seipel and, well, Wiggs as well. The middle lanes here, there will be huge competitors. Salwa Ahmed from Egypt, lane 2, the 20-year-old. A number of world champs finishes, but never higher than 10th. Wasana Kutawasip.
10th at the 2024 World Championship, 2-time Paralympian.
48 from Thailand. Also competed in para archery. Emma Wiggs, already a gold here. VL2 champion. She's won that boat division again, but she's going to have to go through the semi-finals here to make another A final and try and compete for yet another gold medal. And Susan Seipel as well, the Aussie, having another battle with Wiggs. Bronze in the VL2 here, the Australian. And Inez Felipe, lane 6. A really strong field this. He was at 9th in the VL2 final, 12th in the KL2 competition, all things considered in Tokyo, but a European champion in the VL2, Inez.
Well, I think we should be pretty excited for the final of this event if we're looking at a semi-final that's featuring both Emma Wiggs and Susan Seipel, 2 absolute legends of the sport here. neither of them being able to advance directly through their heats. I think we should expect them to both go through and advance from this semi, but seeing them here as not direct qualifiers really speaks to the quality at the top of this field.
It really does. The Wiggs and Seipel were gold and silver in the VL2 final on the Sea Forest Waterway 3 years ago. Fastest three go through to the A final. Remainder drop into the B final.
To the start line, please.
That's the Thai paddler. Just having a go around. London and Rio. She competed in para archery for her nation.
They come slowly forward, three. Slowly forward.
So presumably her aim will be good.
You hold your positions.
But she's an outsider here in this semi-final.
Ready, set.
Semi-finals in the women's KL2. So Ahmed, the Wesap of Thailand, Wiggs, Seipel, and then Inez Maria Felipe Vidigal of Spain. Seipel is the early race leader. Again, it's a top three, so Seipel and Wiggs almost nailed on as our qualifiers. And look how far out ahead they are, Seipel and Wiggs. Does Wiggs have a finish? Does she even want to get ahead? Does she want to extend herself is the question. They know they'll be going through those two, but there's a battle for third at the moment. Inez Maria Felipe Vidigal just about has the edge there on the Egyptian and the Thai over on that far side. Wiggs and Seipel coming up to the finish. Looks like the Aussie has it here. Yeah, Seipel's going to take the semi-final win. Wiggs comes in second, but they're already through comfortably. And Inez Maria Felipe Vidigal there is able to extend and finish rather comfortably in third place to also move through with a minimum of fuss ultimately. And then it was Kita Wissa and Salwa Ahmed. No surprise, it was just all about who was going to be one and who was going to be two really in that semi between the Aussie and the Brit. And it was the Aussie who took it in 57.17.
Yeah, no surprises there to see our two leaders out in front, Susan Seipel and Emma Wiggs, both of whom have previously won Paralympic medals in this boat class. Looked like Seipel took an opportunity to practice her start there. No hesitation, but a little bit of a stall out there from Emma Wiggs. Not sure what the plan was there coming out of the start for her, but looks like that is when the Australian got all of her advantage and just continued to paddle on. I think we saw them both take the foot off the gas once we got about halfway through the piece.
Yeah, Wiggs, she was second in Tokyo behind Charlotte Henshaw. It's going to be a huge battle as well, 3 years on.
Yeah, we just saw on the replay there, we had a little bit of a check with the paddle there, maybe just to adjust the steering as we're going down, because it does seem like maybe the crosswind is starting to factor for some of these athletes.
About a half a second between first and second there, the Seipel from Wiggs. And then the Spaniard some distance back, but she herself was some distance ahead of the Thai and the Egyptian paddler. So Seipel again into a para-canoeing final at the Paralympic Games. And Wiggs at 44 shows no signs of slowing up. There's been plenty of talk in the build-up here to Paris 2024 if she wants to continue all the way to LA. And going for another medal here, Emma Wiggs, behind Susan Seipel in that semi-final with the Spaniard, Felipe Vidigal, going through as well. Joining Talia Relat, Wang Danshin and Anya Adler as the three progressors from that first semi, joining Varga and Henshaw in the final of the women's KL2. This is the semi-final lineup in the men's VL2. The VAR boats out on the water. That distinctive outrigger to help balance. From Canada, Mathieu Saint-Pierre.
7th in 2022 and 2024 at the World Championship.
5th in Tokyo. And hunting down another spot in a Paralympic final. Ed Clifton, 38 from Britain. This is his first Paralympic Games. Best he's achieved as 9th in the VL2 Duisburg World Champs. From Portugal, Norberto Moral. He's a 43 from Villarreal. Bronze, Tokyo. Marius Bogdan Chusteja. Birthday boy.
It's his birthday today.
31. We wish him many happy returns. Actually been a bronze finisher in this boat. World champs 6 years ago now in Portugal.
Well, this is going to be such a tough progression for this race. It's just going to be top 3 of these 4 boats to go through. And unfortunately, our 4th place finisher in this semifinal will be done with their Paralympic competition today.
Fernando Rafinha de Paulo and Igor Toffolini, both from Brazil. Great winners going through. So we're underway, semi-final stage here in the men's vast single, racing over 200 metres. The semi-final one is underway. Canada, Britain, Portugal and Italy. Morao has a good deal of form and heritage in this boat, going really well. He won 3rd place and the bronze in Tokyo with 5 on the boat just to the inside. Ed Clifton is chopping into those waves. He wants to get through as well, and he's certainly looking likely. Mathieu Saint-Pierre, though, is coming up to Clifton, and there's every chance here that the Canadian's just going to pip Clifton to that 2nd spot. Morao has this race in the palm of his hand. He's going to be the semi-final winner, and Clifton is really struggling. There's a finish from Chusteja here. Chusteja might pip the Brit. I think he just about has it here, Clifton, but it was very, very close at the end. And Chusteja just drifts a little bit coming over the finish line as he threw everything into trying to get into the qualifying position. Morao has 53.79. That's not far outside Fernando Rafinha de Paulo's Paralympic Games best time from Tokyo. So Saint-Pierre came in past Clifton, who looked to pull up a little bit, didn't he? Sort of about 30 metres or so from the finish. He just about got there by about 1/3 of a second from Chusteja. If we had another 10 metres or so of that race, the Italian might well have got into 3rd spot. But Clifton does make it.
Yeah, really interesting tactics coming from the British athlete. He was really employing just a much lower rate of striking through the body of that race, especially if you get him side-by-side shot there with the Portuguese athlete. Might have almost been like twice the stroke rate is what we were looking at. Just really biding his time, going for length and power per stroke here in the British boat. And it almost didn't pay off for him because we really saw a late charge from the Italian.
Well, Morao just showing his class for that first row of boys. He hit the lead at 43 and still has power and stamina and pace. Clifton, yeah, just seemed to struggle at the end, but scratch it out. He's qualified. That's all that matters. They'll be racing later in the A final. Our qualifiers here: Morao, Saint-Pierre, and Ed Clifton.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that tactic was planned or if it was just the way that he's choosing to race this event with that lower rate of striking, that power per stroke. Because really seeing the opposite here in the Portuguese stroke. Just really, really quick, dynamic through the water, shorter strokes and more of them.
safely across. Sadly, there's no B final in this race. That will be the end.
But no surprise, our returning bronze medalist from Tokyo onto the final for him.
Got a block.
Well, I don't know about you, but I think he needs to work out a little bit more.
Oh man, yeah, needs to hit the bench press, I think.
Tough cookies, these guys. Clifton makes it behind Mathieu St-Pierre and Alberto Mourão.
Really exciting second semi-final coming up in just a minute for you. We'll have
Well, these para-rowing and para-canoeing events have been fantastically well supported. There's been French participation all the way through. We had Remy Boule on the podium 24 hours ago, which brought the house down here.
He was really working the crowd, wasn't he, when he was up on the podium, just really taking advantage of being at a home games, which we love to see.
This is the next lineup. 5 more boats in the semi-finals in the men's VL2.
And interesting, again, we have another one of our returning Tokyo medalists not advancing directly through the heats on day one and finding himself here in the semifinal to advance.
Yeah, lane 4, Blake Haxton. So one of the debut nations, 6 countries making their Paralympic debut. Algeria, Egypt, Korea, Senegal, Serbia and Thailand. Santi Wantawui in lane 2. Higino Rivero Fernandez, lane 3 for the Spanish. He's 42. He was in the Tokyo Games and finished 6th in the final.
in lane 4 from the United States of America.
Here he is.
Haxton. Silver medalist in bronze in 2022.
Got the silver in Tokyo. Middle lane, he should go through. He really should. Got Robert Suba, the 44-year-old, just off the podium in the KL1. He finished 4th. So a little bit of heartbreak involved in his Paralympic story thus far. Andrei Krychun, Ukraine, lane 6. Another 40-something. Para-rowing was his previous discipline, which he competed at the London Games. It's his first para-canoeing games for Ukraine. That form, though, the Ukrainian there, the nearest to us in that pink boat. Silver at the Euros in
1 minute to
Szeged.
start. Please come to the start line. 1 minute to start.
Well, we know about the Hungarian pedigree in paddling. Suba actually has a Paralympic medal. He was a KL1 silver medalist in Rio 8 years ago. But Haxton is providing a little bit of hope for Team USA here on the waters of Versailles.
Set.
VL2 boat division, second semi-final. Wantawui, Rivero Fernandez, Haxton, Suba and Krychun, lanes 2 to 6 respectively. And right in the middle there, it is Haxton, perhaps as expected, looking pretty cool up there with a baseball cap the wrong way round and those shades on, and looking tidy as well in this race. He's hit the front. From Suba is Krychun, and Wantawui over there, and Rivero Fernandez just dropped off the back at the moment. Suba has second place from Krychun, but it's Rivero Fernandez who is coming up and wants that third qualifying spot. The remainder drop out. If you don't finish in the top 3, it's curtains, I'm afraid, in this boat division. for our paddlers. So Haxton is going to take it. What about the Spaniard? Has he managed to make it? Oh, it's very, very tight indeed between the Spaniard and the Hungarian. Kripchun is coming in second place there. Haxton, no worries whatsoever. It's a very quick time as well from Haxton. 53.07 was Fernando Rufinho de Paulo's mark. Paralympic Games best from Tokyo, and Haxton has done it, I think, there. Kripchun second. Suba, oof, it was so close between the Hungarian and the Spaniard. And Suba has claimed third. Yeah, Rivero Fernandez just out of it. Haxton, Paralympic Games best mark, 52.69. That's great for Team USA.
Well, I think he can be happy with that. He wasn't quite at the speed he needed to be in order to get through directly from the heats on day one, but really showing some good form here in this opening race of the semifinal here on day 3, boding well for a performance later in the program for the final. We can take a look at this start here. This is a faster start than we're used to seeing from Blake. He's usually a little more conservative off the line and comes through really strongly. He has an endurance background as a former para rower, so we often see him break pretty late in the field. But against this field, he's out in front and leading the way here. Really grateful to our camera director for getting these great shots of the Hungarian, because it really gives you a sense of him just really fighting for everything that he is worth in order to maintain one of those qualifying spots. But here we go, our semifinal winner, Blake Haxton, out in front, and a new game's best time, which is really something, because looking at it, we thought maybe he would take his foot off the gas here with that margin and letting the field kind of come back to him a little bit, even in the second half. But really speedy trip down the course for these guys. Great focus there.
Yeah, so he's got that medal in the locker already from Tokyo, and Haxton just throwing down a statement win and a really quick time as well. That is impressive form to take into the A final from Blake Haxton. 52.69 leads our qualifiers here.
Yeah, I think we're set up for a very, very exciting final in this men's VL2.
Not too shabby.
Kripchun, 55.66. Nicely done. He's into the A final. Suba as well will have a chance as well. So it is Blake Haxton, Andrei Kripchun, and Robert Suba joining Norberto Morau, Mathieu Saint-Pierre and Ed Clifton as the 6 who progress from the semi-final stage in the men's VL2, joining Igor Tofolini and Fernando Rufinho de Paulo, who is the defending Tokyo champion. Those latter two Brazilian paddlers were the heat winners. Well, they're gearing up, I'm sure, for Abel Aber, who comes a little later in the men's VL3, the French fans. Next boats out on the water coming the women's KL3. This, the gold medal winner from Tokyo, Laura Sugar. So she's the big favourite again. Iran, Spain, Germany, Hungary, Brazil here in this semi-final. Fastest 3 go through, remainder drop into our petit finale. The 39-year-old Iranian Shala Baruzirad. 3rd games, 9th Rio, 7th Tokyo, but has been a world champs bronze medalist. No slouch. Araceli Menduna-Santomé, she's the eldest competitor in the field at 55. Eldest competitor all told across the para-canoeing boats. Felicia Labere, Germany, lane 5 at the other end of the scale, really, at only 23. She was bronze in Tokyo and has won a couple of bronzes at World Champs as well. Nicoletta Molnar, Hungary. Best she's achieved a pair of 5ths at the Worlds and Euros. And Marie Santilli made the VL3 final and finished 6th there, the 46-year-old from Curitiba in Brazil. But she has been a World Champs bronze medalist as recently as last year, 2023 in Duisburg.
Together to the start line. We have just under 1 minute to start.
In Tokyo, it was Sugar with the gold. Nela Barbosa of France in the silver medal position. Felicia Labera got the bronze.
Yeah, with that bronze, she became the youngest female paddler to win a medal at a Paralympic Games back in Tokyo. Just 20 years old with that medal win. I'm sure she'll be looking to defend that and make her way into the A final. First things first.
You hold your positions. Ready, set.
KL3 semi-final number 1 here. We're looking for the fastest 3 to go through, the fastest out of the traps. Lebera of Germany, and then Molnar was pretty rapido off the start line as well. And then Araceli Menduna-Santomé as well. No surprise here to see the German hitting the front. Great speed there from Menduna-Santomé of Spain, who has 2nd place at the moment. And Molnar with 3rd, so that is Beruzirad over there on the far side. Santilli has dropped off the back. She's not going to make it. We have our 3 qualifiers. That chevron at the front of the race. Labera, and a heck of a finish from the Spaniard as well at 55, Menduna-Santomé. But it is going to be Labera. The bronze from Tokyo comes through. Terrific race there from Maria Araceli Menduna-Santomé. And Molnar there, 3 middle lanes, taking the qualifying spots. No great surprise. Labera does it in 48.59. That's pretty quick. Laura Sugar's Paralympic best time, 48.14 from on this track, actually.
Yeah, great race there in the center lanes from Menduna and Labera and Molnar. Our 2 3-time Paralympians in Beruzirad and Santilli do drop off the back of the pack, so we'll see them again in the B final. But the Spanish athlete had a really good turn up in the heats. She posted the 4th fastest time on the day. So good to see her revving the engines here in the semifinal and giving Labera a real run for her money as they're looking to lock up those qualification spots through this semi. It is the 3 center lanes that got out the quickest, wasn't it? They really kind of made a statement early on, got themselves established, but it was the German Labera who just got herself out in front. Pushed the whole way down the track, though, not having it all her own way there in the center lane. Good challenges coming to her from Molnar and Menduna-Santomé. Just a little bit more slip in the Hungarian boat. You can see just a tiny more wobble just there at the bottom of the picture. She gave up a little bit of distance on the 2 leaders as a result. But good focus here. Look at that. Just laser beam focus in the German boat. All the way to the line there. No doubt for her. Labera, half a boat. Over Menduna-Santomé. Really impressive turn up. 55 years of age in Menduna-Santomé. So impressive, the longevity that you can achieve in para-canoe.
Ich hab gerufen. Vor der Spanierin.
There she is, the speedy Spaniard. Doesn't even look bothered, does she?
Egy ilyen minimális, de kurva jó
Laboureux, Menduna, Santomé, Molnar, Germany, Spain, Hungary through to the A final. Belouizdad, Santilli, Iran and Brazil drop into the petit finale.
Hopefully it's Laboureux. She's 23, competing against Menduna Santomé, age 55. How do you think, as a 23-year-old, you might imagine yourself competing at this level 30 years from now?
It's incredible, isn't it? It really is incredible. I mean, that's one of the features of the Paralympic events. I had the pleasure of being at the Stade de France the other night in one of the 400 races. He had a couple of 60-year-olds in that race. It just blows me away. It really does. The dedication and the commitment really to keeping yourself in shape, to be competitive and coming to Paralympic Games and winning medals. Absolutely off the charts. This is Uzbekistan, Poland, Britain, Italy and Brazil here in the second women's KL3 semi-final.
Here in the second semi-final of the women's kayak single 200 meters KL3.
Another one of the sports superstars appearing in this semi-final. Hope Gordon, we'll talk more about her later.
Yeah, Sheknoza Mirzieva, Uzbekistan, 6th in the Tokyo final. That's lane 3. Poland, lane 4, Katarzyna Kozikowska, who is at 30 again, sort of returning from Tokyo. 4th, KL3. He was at Euro Champs bronze earlier this year. Well, Hope Gordon, you mentioned the word there, silver medalist already in the VL3. Hope Gordon is a world champion last year in Duisburg. Amanda Imbriazzo, 31, the Italian. 4th best at Euros, first Paralympic Games for her. Brazil, this terrific Brazilian tradition in paddling, represented again by Aline Furtado de Oliveira. First Paralympic Games at 41. She was 11th at the World Championships earlier this year.
1 minute to start. Please come slowly to the start line. Come down together, please. Slowly.
Well, as you said, Hope Gordon already has a medal to her name at this Paralympic Games here in Paris. She'll be looking for another one. She's come over to the sport from para-Nordic skiing, so a lot of endurance background there, serving her well as she's getting into para-canoe. This is her first summer Paralympics.
And yeah, setting up another Battle of Britain contest. We expect her to go through here, so it's going to be Gordon, surely, barring a catastrophe, in this qualifying semi-final, going up against Laura Sugar, who was set the Paralympic Games at best time in qualifying directly from the heat stage with a 48.14. A realignment needed for Aline Furtado de Oliveira.
Yeah, you can see the texture on the water is just starting to get a little bit more dynamic there, so a little bit more push that these athletes are having to contend with as they get themselves lined up. She's giving herself a lot of room to get shot into the boot here. You can see just from this shot how much she's getting pushed. And anticipating how much the wind is going to push you when you arrive at the boot is a real trick. It's a skill that these athletes really have to get really comfortable with their boat.
Ready, set.
And they're underway. A clean start, problem off the start from Aline Furtado de Oliveira, which immediately trims this field. It's the fastest 3 going through. Mirzieva, Kozikowska, Gordon and Imbriazzo. That is the Italian in lane 6. Imbriazzo, a nice quick rhythm, but wait for Hope Gordon to paddle through in the middle lane there with Kozikowska just over on that far side. Imbriazzo has been unable to maintain that quick start out of the traps, and it is Hope Gordon who has hit the lead here in this 200-meter race, KL3 semi-final. But Imbriazzo is set to qualify at the moment. Watch out for Mirzieva, who has a fast finish inside her, but it is Imbriazzo drops to 3rd behind Kozikowska and Hope Gordon. They are 1, 2 and 3. Mirzieva doesn't have the finish quite there, and the difficult start from Furtado de Oliveira, well, that tripped her up straight away out of the traps. Hope Gordon 48.52, so it's under 49. It's kind of in the right ballpark, really, for Paralympic Games best time. Kozakowska from Poland, second, 0.56 back, just over half a second, and then Embriazzo from Italy takes third. They are our three qualifiers who go through to the gold medal race. No great surprise, really, to see Hope Gordon coming through as that semi-final winner.
No great surprises there. Both Hope Gordon and Kozakowska of Poland have those endurance sport backgrounds. Kozakowska coming from Paris swimming, so not as quick as the Italian out of the blocks, but you can see that endurance base in both of these athletes, not being necessarily pure power athletes as you might see in some of these pure para-canoe athletes. Really starting to show in the middle of the race course as they just burn slowly and work their way through a little bit more patiently than you might see in some of the really quick starting power athletes in this sport. So that was exactly the case. A little more conservative off the start for those two, Gordon and Kozakowska, but job done for them. Gordon hits the front, and that quick start that we saw from the Italian just kind of burned off a little bit once we got through the halfway point.
Well, for me, that's the most impressive thing, the way these athletes generate that raw power just out of the traps, because it's kind of different when we get to world champs. The para-canoeing and indeed the canoeing events raced over far greater distances than 200 meters. You've got a little bit more time to get into your stride. With 200 meters, you've got to nail that start, otherwise it's game over. You
really do, and especially on days when the conditions can be tricky, and we've seen how much the athletes are having to battle the crosswind as they're pulling into the blocks. Getting the start right in the first couple of strokes can sometimes make or break, really making the difference your entire race, because you can lose ground really easily if you're not quite ready or a little bit offset at the start. So getting those first few strokes and getting the power right can be really critical.
Semi-final 2, won by Hope Gordon. Katarzyna Kozakowska finishes second. Amanda Embriazzo through as well. Poland, Italy, Britain, and joining Germany, Spain and Hungary with Labra, Menduna, Santomé and Molnar into the A final, where they will rub shoulders with Nayla Barbosa and Laura Sugar, who went through automatically from the heats.
Well, the time has come. French fans are going mad in the stands because we have a French athlete coming up.
Yeah, we do, and it's Abel Habert, the 38-year-old from Épinal, who's in a Paralympic Games for the first time.
So I'll just give a wave to the stands with the French flag on his paddle there. That's cool.
Austria, Italy, China, France, Argentina. So lane 2 for Austria. I mean, on another day, Mendy Svoboda gets a medal in the KL2 final. That was a blanket finish. He was really quick. He almost got in amongst the medal shake-up there, the 34-year-old from Linz in Austria. But he got a fourth in that KL2. But he has speed. A silver medalist in Rio in the KL2 Svoboda. We got Mirko Nikolic, 39-year-old. Yeah. He got a bronze VL3, Euro champs, Montemor Oveyo last year. Puyi from China, 22, who has youth on his side. Never better than 9th, though, at a World Champs. Is his first Paralympic Games, and yet we'll just enjoy the reception for the home paddler, Abel Habert. Emilio Atamanuk, second event, 9th in the KL2 final. The 40-year-old Argentine. He has got up almost on the podium in World Champs, Emilio. 4th, VL3 in Szeged. So 2 semi-finals, fastest 3 going into the A final. It's a B final event, men's VL3.
Well, this will be an interesting one again. We have our most experienced athletes in these outside lanes again. So a new generation of paddlers occupying these center lanes in this semi-final. There he is, the Frenchman. So much support for these French athletes here at the Para-Canoe event. We should not underestimate the home field advantage and the roar of the crowd coming into play as Albert is looking to qualify for the final in this men's VL3.
Yeah, I mean, with 3 to go through, he's got a fighting chance. By the way, this boat class VL3, Curtis McGrath is the big name in it. And he's gone through already from the heats along with Vladislav Yepifanov.
Just had a hand up from lane 3. Come back lane 3.
Lane 3, that's Nikoli.
Yeah, he just put his hand up there at the last moment because they were going to start the race without him being in the boot. But there we go. All set.
Hold your positions. Ready, set.
Austria, Italy, China, France, Svoboda, Nikoli, Pouilly, Albert and Atamanuk in this semi-final. VL1, there's raw pace and power off the start gate. We love to see this. Huge noise for Abel Albert, who has hit the front hit. Pouilly just about in second place. Atamanuk going well, but Svoboda, we expect a big finish from the big Austrian over on the far side. This is going to be such a tight finish again. Abel Albert is being roared home. And what about Atamanuk here in the near side in that blue boat? Just 3 to go through. Pouilly, I think, is going to come through for it. Albert holding a qualifying place at the moment. Just Svoboda from Atamanuk. It is going to be Pouilly to win it. Oh, France going to get a boat into the final. Well, Abel Albert should come home. He does come home as one of the fastest 3. I think Svoboda just about had it from Atamanuk. Well, the Argentine exploded over the middle portion of the race there. But Svoboda, I think, has just about held it there. Pouilly, 48.99. That was so tight. It's great when racing's like that.
It's great unless you're on the wrong side of it, unfortunately, because what a great battle that was. Just all boats across, really, all the way down the track. That's great competition to see here at the Paralympics, because when you come here, that's what you want. You want to be pushed to your absolute maximum. And that's what these guys are getting their money's worth racing here at the Paralympic Games in Paris. But really great, yeah. No one was able to walk away with that one. That was full gas for all the athletes in this field. This first semi-final of the men's VL3.
Svoboda's going to get another crack at a medal here. He's come home behind Pouilly. Inside a second. 8 tenths down. Abel Albert, that's massive for France. With Naila Barbosa, they'll have another finalist. And Pouilly, great finish that, 49.99, 48.97. Curtis McGrath with the Paralympic Games best time. He set that in qualifying automatically, and that extra little bit of lift that Albert will have enjoyed, the roar of the fans just bringing him home, gets that qualifying spot as well.
Yeah, super turn up from the Chinese athlete. He was second in his heat on day 1, and we saw him come out of the blocks just so much more patient than a lot of these other athletes, just a little bit more time per stroke to really get the grip on the water and get the boat up and running, and then we saw him build the stroke rate from there. Really effective use of the stroke here in the Chinese boat. Got himself out in front, held that lead against such tight competition, didn't he? Abel Albert really gave him a good run in the middle of the course, but just slowly, patiently working his way through. Really impressive to see, because he is the youngest athlete in this field by quite a margin. So really great maturity, great focus, just not bothered at all by how intense the competition was and how tight the margins were all the way down. And really, it came down to this third place battle, didn't it, between the Argentine and Svoboda of Austria. I really thought that Atamanuk might come through, because he really made a great move in the second third of the race, but just not quite enough to overhaul the Austrian in the end.
Yeah, Svoboda, I think it's a bit of a dark horse, actually. He's behind Pouilly there, but he's in another final. He so nearly had a podium spot, Svoboda, in that earlier event.
There he is. He's the only competitor representing Austria here at the Para-Canoe event. I feel like that's such an interesting position to be in, because it means that your support and your team is so small. It's really probably just you and a coach and maybe a trainer, and that might be it. No teammates and not much else. So Unlike some of the other delegations we see here, you know, Brazil with 8 athletes or GB with 9 athletes, they're going to have a big squad, people to lean on kind of throughout the event, but not like being here alone.
Pouilly, Mendy, Svoboda, Abel, Hebert go through to the A final. B final event in the VL3. So Atamanuk and Nicolou will race again a little bit later on. But top 3 there, separated by just 0.82. These blanket finishes make for such thrilling and captivating stories in these para-canoeing events. And talk about captivating stories, it's Kiwi versus Kiwi here in the second VL3 semi. Scott Martlew and Peter Cowan.
We've talked a lot about longevity in the sport. This is going to be one of the youngest fields that we're going to see probably at the entire event, and multiple people under the age of 30.
Well, he was amongst the conversation for medals in the KL2. Didn't happen for Scott Martlew in that event. He faded to 5th. Katimur Shirkuziev, he's at 27 from Uzbekistan. He was in the Tokyo event 4th in the VL3. Here is Peter Cowan, 29, another Kiwi here. Silver in the VL3 at the World Champs. Jack Ayres looking to continue the British tradition at 35. European champion Adrian Mosquera Real, Spain. A 28-year-old from Riancho here. Another Paralympic performance, 14th and 11th in the KL3 and the VL3 in Tokyo. A bit of modelling in his time, Jack Ayres.
Well, I think we're looking at probably a pretty good race in this semifinal as well. Great turn up from Peter Cowan in the opening heats. Finished 2nd with a super race against Curtis McGrath, who set a new Paralympic Games best time in that heat.
Hold your positions. Ready, set.
VL3 semi-final 2 in the men's racing here, para-canoeing at Paris 2024. Fastest 3 here from Martlew, Jacuzzi, Cowan, Ayres, Mosquera, Real go through to the A final. Remainder drop into the B final. Adrian Mosquera Real has a really fast start there for Spain, but over there in one of the distinctive black boats, it's Cowan coming through, and then Ayres as well trying to get up and shake it up inside those top 3 positions. It's looking good for Ayres. Mosquera Real got out really quickly as he got the finish. At the moment it's Jack Ayres here, Cowan. They are nip and tuck for the race win. Who's going to make 3rd? Shakuziev has come through here. Terrific finish from the Uzbekistani, and Ayres takes it from Cowan, and then Shakuziev, Mosquera Real. Oh, he went out so quick but couldn't maintain it. And Martlew drops into the B final. Jack Ayres wins it, so he's taken a little bit off Curtis McGrath's Paralympic Games best time, the Brit. Then it's Cowan, just 1/3 of a second back. And Shakuziev with a really fast sprint over the final meters to drop Mosquera Real, who for so long looked like he had a top 3 finish. And it's not been a Paralympic Games that Scott Martlew expected or wanted. He finishes down the order there, 3.75 back. Shakuziev claims that last qualifying place for Uzbekistan thrillingly.
Well, big thumbs up at the finish line there from Peter Cowan to Jack Ayres. If you're going to come second, you might as well come second in the fastest race that's ever happened at the Paralympics. There he is, your new Paralympic Games best time holder from Great Britain. Really speedy rip down the track for these guys this morning, setting us up for a really exciting final in this men's VL3.
I think it's going to be like the men's KL3 all over again.
My. Well, coming off the line, Shakuziev of Uzbekistan certainly wins the stroke rate award, really just flying out of the blocks, maintaining that rate all the way down the track. A little bit more patient in some of these other boats, just getting the boats up and running and maintaining the speed a little bit more consistently throughout. Cohen did a nice job getting himself out in front, but what a fight we saw from Jack Ayres of Great Britain, just coming through really strongly in the second half of the race. It's really great to get a shot of these two athletes side by side too, because their paddling styles are so different. You see just so much more length and kind of structure in that inside arm there for Jack Ayres. Just a lot more straightness in that arm on the paddle. Peter Cowan just a little bit more fluid there off the front, but you know what? It contributed to the speed across the line first, and fastest man ever on Paralympic water, Jack Ayres. Big turnaround from the World Championships for him. Not his best race this year in Szeged. 10th place for Jack Ayres, so that would have been a B final. Peter Cowan coming away with the silver at Worlds, so that's quite an upset based on that result from Worlds. Oh, there's a nice shot of the recovery pack. Ziploc with the banana, probably some gels.
Jack Ayres, Peter Cowan, Shakuziev, Britain, New Zealand, Uzbekistan qualify for the final in the men's VL3. Skera Real Martlu, they'll contest the B final. Joining Puyi, Mendy Svoboda, Abel Aber, China, Austria and France, 1, 2 and 3. From semi-final one, Annie D. Curtis McGrath and Vladislav Yepifanov. They were the automatic qualifiers. Can one of these gentlemen take down Curtis McGrath for what would be a pretty sensational VL3 gold? So we are going to have a little bit of a break now, just to have a breather and just digest what we've seen in those semi-final races ahead of the A finals, which will start in around about 20 minutes time here at Versailles. Here we go. Finals on the final day of racing at the Para-Canoe events at the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. We're going to be kicking off here with the women's KL1 200 meters of raw power, and there'll be emotion at the end of it. So these are our boats. We have from Britain, Jeanette Chippington. This may well be her last ever Paralympic race. In her 8th Paralympic Games, 4th of VL2. Gold in the KL1 this event in Rio. Ximao Shan from China, 38, 5th in Tokyo, 4th at the World Champs. Adina Muller. So leads are returning medalists from Tokyo. She is the defending champion from the Sea Forest Waterway. The German had to come through the semi-finals. Marina Majula was second to Muller in Tokyo. Lane 4, Catherine Wallerman, Chile, the 32-year-old, has the World Championship title. She was bronze in Tokyo. So the 1, 2 and 3 from the Sea Forest Waterway in lanes 3, 4 and 5 here. Brianna Hennessy has already broken new ground for Canada, that nation's first ever para-canoeing medal at the Para Games, silver in the VL2. Seriu Monica, lane 7 for the Japanese. It's her 3rd Paralympic Games, never better than 7th. Home in Tokyo, Eleonora De Pauris, 38 years of age from Velletri in Italy, just off the podium in the KL1. She had a finish of 4th in Tokyo, but she has been a world champ, silver medalist. She's bronze at the Euro champs in Jakarta a little earlier this year.
To the start line together in your lanes.
Well, this is super interesting. We have almost an exact replica of our entire A final field from Tokyo. It's just Jeanette Chippington who's stepping into that 8th and final place. She finished 9th there, so 1 step up for her. But otherwise, all the other competitors in this field lined up against one another in Tokyo 3 years ago.
Great consistency across this boat division. Adina Muller, Paralympic Games best time, 53.95, set in that Japan Paralympic Games 3 years ago. What a story it would be. Chippington over in the far side, incredible athlete she truly is. At 54, here she is, the Olympic story, Paralympic story, started for her in Seoul, incredibly, back in 1988. So a para swimmer for Britain.
Sets.
Here we go, 200 meters to glory in the women's KL1 final. Chippington, Shi, Muller, Majula, Wallerman, Hennessy, Seriula, De Paulis, and in the middle lanes, that's where all the action is. Wallerman is the world champion, but look at the threat coming in from Muller, who is really powering through now. And we expect her to get up to the front. Majula going really well as well. Has the lead, actually, the Ukrainian from Wallerman, and then Muller. These races are done and dusted in no time. Blink and you miss it. Look at the pause now from Wallerman coming through from Chile. She's going to be ahead of Mazula coming home. Here is Chile, the world champion, is set to be the Paralympic Games champion. She looks in supreme rhythm there. It's Wallerman who comes in, Majula, and then Muller. Oh, and she tumbles.
Well, that's her calling card, isn't it? Wallerman often takes a dip at the end, but not bothered by that. She's got lifeguards there to help her out, and she's also got a Paralympic gold medal. That should help keep her afloat there.
She has got a Paralympic Games best time.
My
and
goodness.
She has ground Adina Muller's mark from Tokyo into the dust. 53.95. Just get rid of that. And let's call it 51.95.
Well, the other thing we need to talk about with this final is we saw such a strong push from Mazula of Ukraine coming through in the middle of the race course. We thought maybe she was going to run away with it, and then we saw Wallerman come back through her again. Really don't see that very often in these events, to see her respond and turn the speed. Wow, that is such a great shot. I can't get over her going in and getting rescued, and she hasn't stopped smiling since. So, wow, great performance from her.
Yeah.
Haven't seen anything like it yet here at
really
Paris
haven't.
2024.
That was stunning. Catherine Wollerman then, who won the World Championship title, now has the Paralympic title. It's the same podium, basically the same lineup in the A final. It's at least the same athletes on the podium in a slightly different order. Majula has another second. Muller drops to the bronze. Wollerman upgrades to the gold medal now. So Muller does have another medal. That's really strong field. And look at this progression from Wollerman. She has just stepped it up the whole way through. She was 4th in Rio. She got 3rd in Tokyo. And now she is a world champion, and she has the gold at the Paralympic Games. Best start, actually. It was Majula, wasn't it?
Well, man, Wollerman really just got out of the blocks. Quickest start for her in the field. And then maybe just a little bit of fade as we saw the Ukrainian come through so strongly across the middle of the race course. And then we saw the Chilean just really turn up the heat and come back through her in the closing meters of the race, which is so impressive. Execution of the special teams there from Catherine Wollerman of Chile, because here we can see there's the deficit. She was in that silver medal position as we're coming through the halfway point, and then she just finds another gear, rips it up, and takes back the gold from the Ukrainian Marina Mazula. Muller was in there for the bronze really the whole time. Her position didn't change off the start. Got herself into medal position and held it. But there she is, you're a Paralympic champion with a huge late surge and then a victory dunk.
Well, just
so
in the
she's already smiling, and she knows she's going to go in probably, but you know, oh, there it is. But you know what?
Yeah, why not?
She's got the gold. She says, I'm okay. And in no time, she's going to be on top of the podium. So nothing to do but smile from here.
And she often does that at the end of the day. She often has the dunk.
We have seen her go in at the past 2 World Championships when she's won her gold in 2024. And, well, silver in 23, but she went in then too.
Well, just in the nick of time, Chile have their first gold medal at these Paralympic Games, and it's provided by Catherine Wollerman in the women's KL1 here in para canoeing. Marina Majula with another silver, and Anita Muller with the bronze at an extraordinary time as well.
That's 51.95.
It's superb.
2 seconds off the Paralympic best.
They've won 4 bronzes, the Chileans, 3 of them in para swimming, para table tennis as well, but finally a gold. And there's more glory for Ukraine, who've had a fantastic games in Germany as well. In bronze, 23rd bronze, a 47th medal all in.
Well, they seem pretty happy with that.
Selfie for the ages there. Selfie for the ages.
Absolutely.
Nothing? You have no idea? Nothing. Nothing? Sure? Can you open your eyes?
Just time to warm up. No doubt the water's feeling a little chilly on a day like today.
We move to the women's KL2. Egypt, Japan, Thailand, Hungary. So the best these paddlers can finish is 9th in the KL2. Charlotte Henshaw, in just a few moments' time, will try and defend her Paralympic title in the A final. From Egypt, Salwa Ahmed, Egypt providing paddlers into the para-canoeing for the first time at the Games. 12th at the World Champs, best finish of 10th in the KL2. That was the World Champs a couple of years ago, Halifax, Nova Scotia. And Jima Shiho from Japan, 12th in the VL3. Wasana Kutawisap, again Thailand, like the Egyptian paddlers, They're representing their nation for the first time at the Games. We've got Dalma Boldazar for VL2, the 10th place finisher for the 21-year-old. So there's plenty more Paralympic Games in this paddler. Euro champs 5th, and she was 9th at the 2023 World Champs in Duisburg in Germany. But a real feature of the regatta generally is the improved universality of access to these events. We've had a number of countries making their Paralympic debut here in Paris, 6 of them. Algeria, Egypt and Thailand represented in this race. Korea Republic, Senegal, Serbia. And the highlight of that progression, of course, Guendouzi's gold medal for Algeria on day 2. But that's what it's all about. Increased gender equality as well, for the first time at the Paralympic Games. 50 female and 50 male paddlers. Just the odd issue here, getting the paddlers aligned. "30 nations all in have sent paddlers to Paris, all 5 continents, 12 from Europe, 8 from Asia, 5 from Pan America, 3 from Africa, 2 from the Oceania region.
Okay, come slowly to the right, slowly to the right, slowly, slowly. Thank you, hold your positions. Ready, set.
Well, we're good to go, I think, although the Thai paddler Kitawassit was struggling a little bit in that starting boot. So Boldazar is out the quickest by the looks of things. Miyajima Shiho as well has pulled forward, and the Japanese paddler has the lead here in this B final. It's the KL2 division. We're racing over 200 meters. And Salwa Ahmed going really well as well. This could be a breakthrough because, okay, it's a B final, but still a Paralympic final, and to claim victory in that is no mean feat. We have Miyajima from Ahmed, Boldazar then, and Kitawassit, who's recovered well actually after that shaky start. Ahmed, does she have a little bit of extra power at the finish? It's Asia versus Africa here, with Japan against Ahmed. And what a great surge from Salwa Ahmed, who is coming up to the line. She might well have the Japanese here. It's a bit of a photo, actually, for the race win in the B final. But what a sprint finish there from Salwa Ahmed. I think she may have taken that. Yeah, Miyajima had the lead pretty much the whole way through.
She did indeed, but really just getting the power on the blades there in the Egyptian boat. Coming down to the line, seeing the margins like that here in the B final, what that says to us is that we've gotten the progression right here at the event. In your final, you want to be racing against people who are right there with you and in the exact same speed zone. So lining up with people that are right there with you, close finishes in your final, that's exactly what you want when you're at the Paralympics.
She's taken that win, Salwa Ahmed. And by just 0.11 from Miyajima Shiho. But an incredible push there to the line from the Egyptian paddler.
Well, and the super takeaway from this is that both of these two paddlers who ended up out in front and going toe-to-toe, they're both first-time Paralympians. So getting the experience of having super close racing, really intense competition where it does come down to just inches over the entire race course, it's super valuable athletic experience that they can take away. They can be super proud of hanging really tough and not backing down. It's really, really valuable stuff to take away and apply to the rest of your career.
Wow, half a boat length down, Ahmed, and she tore into it.
You can really see just how much she's really getting after each stroke of the blade there. And it was just enough, just a couple of inches between her and Miyajima at the line.
Well, that is Algeria winning an A final and Egypt winning a B final on their debut at para-canoeing at the Paralympic Games, and that represents real, genuine progression. Absolutely superb. And a second place finish as well for Miyajima Shiho, 102.43. Just 0.11 back. That's how close it was. So Salwa Ahmed then finishes 9th overall in the women's KL2. 10th for Miyajima, 11th for Bouldershart, 12th for Itawisap. Such a strong field here in the A final of the women's KL2. Henshaw and Wiggs, they were gold and silver in Tokyo. Battle of the Brits maybe, but Varga lane 5, Seipel lane 6. It's going to be huge, this. Natalia Ella, outside lane for Israel. KL2 though, bronze at the Euros, so there is form there. But Emma Wiggs again already with the gold medal in the VL2, the brilliant Brit at 44. Changed coach after Tokyo and fighting again for more medals. Anja Adler, 35 from Germany. She was 4th, just off the podium. Charlotte Henshaw, the preeminent paddler in this division. Paralympic Games best time holder, defending champion from Tokyo, world champion. Katalin Varga. He took away the European crown when Henshaw wasn't there in Szeged earlier this year. World champ silver, bronze in Tokyo. That was after a 5th in Rio. Seipel, hugely experienced, has the bronze from the VL2 already here at VL Suman. Wang Danshin, 40 from China, 6th in Rio, upgraded. Well, that's the aim this time around. And Inés María Felipe Vidigal, Spain in lane 8. 9th in the VL2 final, again outside lane. KL2, 12th place. Tokyo, so she's made the A final this time around. But can anyone take down this paddler? That is the big question. 57.6. She has the Paralympic Games best time from Tokyo.
Well, what a field, my goodness. I'm looking across all the stats. These women are so highly decorated. We have medals all the way out to the outside lanes in all of these boats. Just one first-time Paralympian, the Israeli athlete, Talia Eilot. We saw her just blaze out of the blocks in the semifinals. So we'll see what she does against this extremely talented and decorated field as she lines up for her first ever A final at the Paralympic Games.
Wiggs over there in lane 2. She won this gold in Rio. She dropped to the silver because Henshaw had to come to the forefront.
Sets.
Women's KL2A final here at Paris 2024. Ila, Wiggs, Adler, Henshaw, Varga, Seipel, Wang and Felipe Vidigal. And look at that start. That is incredible to hit the rocket booster already. Charlotte Henshaw out in front from the athlete right next to her. That's Katalin Varga. But Charlotte Henshaw get into the provisional gold medal spot at the moment. It's going to take something absolutely sensational to overhaul her. I'm not sure anyone has it. Wiggs over there on the far side in the bronze medal position at the moment. Oh, what's happened? what's happened there with Varga. So that's given Henshaw an even greater lead, and Wiggs has come through from Anya Adler. Seipel nowhere at present. What a shame for Katalin Varga. So it's going to be a coronation here again for Henshaw. Great recovery, but Wiggs is going to come through again in second, and then it's Adler in third, and Varga really picked it up. What on earth happened at midway? Henshaw has back-to-back golds, and it's another silver for Wiggs. That's the same 1-2 as Tokyo, and Varga, who won that bronze on the Sea Forest Waterway, just slipped up mid-race. She recovered brilliantly but couldn't overhaul Anya Adler, and it went to form. 49.07. Henshaw has a Paralympic Games best time. Wiggs again is second to her compatriot, but Henshaw just too good again, and Adler 52.17. That is a bronze medal for Germany.
Well, brilliant from Charlotte Henshaw. I mean, I don't know that we doubted that she was going to come out storming in this final. Katalin Varga, I think she's going to have some things to think about, because I think she might have given that away, just letting the steering get away from her in the middle of the race, maybe not giving it as much attention as she needed because she was tracking Henshaw so closely. I think she might have been just a little bit focused on the margin and less on the buoys, and then when it got too close, she had to come really to a dead stop in order to accommodate the steering, and that opened the door for Wiggs and Adler. And there we go. We have dual medals again for GB in this women's KL2.
Double bubble gold as well for Henshaw. VL3 and now KL2. And we know that Great Britain is so strong in para-canoeing at the Paralympic Games. It's another gold medal as expected. Adler, yeah, joining the club, the medal club there.
We can take a look at the start here. It was Charlotte Henshaw, really from the get-go. She got out there with some focus and determination, tracked really closely by Varga, though. She was best of the rest there coming out of the gates. And she really put on a challenge. Katalin Varga tracking Charlotte Henshaw through the middle of the race. Wiggs doing a really nice job just to check Adler down the track as well. Because there we can see Katalin Varga just maintaining that overlap over halfway, but then she's getting just too close to the buoys. You can see she has to check it down in order to get herself off the line and stay in her lane.
Oh, that's tough to watch, isn't it?
So gutting.
Yeah.
And that's some of the crosswind at play there. Unfortunately, it is an outdoor sport, and it's something that we just need to keep an eye on as outdoor athletes. But just so focused on that margin, I think, and trying to maintain the speed to hang on to Henshaw, and it just cost her. Brilliant recovery, because getting back into it and even being close to overlap with the other two medalists, I think, is really a testament to the speed in the Hungarian boat. But what a costly mistake that was.
More gold medal performances for Great Britain, and indeed for Henshaw. Silver when she was a para swimmer in the SB 600 breaststroke back in London. She's made this switch of sports, and she is absolutely bossing it in para canoeing. Double gold, VL3, KL2, Wiggs on the podium again. I mean, Britain's so strong. It's a silver to add to her gold in the VL2, Emma Wiggs.
Good job. I'm so proud of you. Come on. You're amazing. Well done.
Well, you can see how much that means to the German athlete, breaking onto the podium here at the Paralympic Games.
Much like in Tokyo, Henshaw first, Wiggs second, and Varga drops off the podium because of that issue she had mid-race. And that means Adler comes in for the bronze. A finals coming thick and fast, and we love it. VL2 now for the men. Hungary, Canada, USA, two Brazilians in the middle lanes. So Portugal, Ukraine, Britain. Suba, just off the podium, the KL1, in which that boat division he won a silver in Rio, and 4 world champs silvers. Mathieu Saint-Pierre, 5th in Tokyo. Para canoeing and para rowing actually in Tokyo, definite contender for medals again. It is the silver medalist from Tokyo, Blake Haxton, the 33-year-old, bronze at the World Champs. But the Brazilians are really strong in this race. Middle lanes occupied by Igor Toffolini, the 41-year-old. He was a 9th in the KL2 in Rio, skipped to Tokyo. We've got Fernando Rufinho de Paulo, who is the defending champion, beat Blake Haxton for that gold. We've got Norberto Marão, who's been really quick on this racetrack as well here, the 43-year-old Portuguese. He's the European champion. He got the bronze in Tokyo. Andriy Krivchun, 40, from Ukraine. Again, has good heritage, but wants a breakthrough medal at the Para Games, and likewise Clifton on his Para Games debut. The muscle man from Chelmsford, the 10th and 9th best finishes in this event at World Champs. 10th in Szeged earlier this year, outside lane. For Clifton in lane 8.
Well, we saw the Paralympic Games best time set in the semi-finals of this event. And I have a sneaking suspicion that we might see a brand new Paralympics Games best time set in this final if we're not careful.
Can Haxton do it twice in one day? The American was certainly brilliant in that semi-final. A little earlier in this session, we are underway in the men's A final. VL2, Rufinho de Paulo didn't quite get the best start there. I mean, we'll be looking at Marão as well to get in that medal conversation as well. He's in form. Marão, though, has just been dropped by Rufinho de Paulo, who delivers all that raw power and energy. And it's going to be a battle for third at present, it seems, between Toffolini and Marão. But Rufinho de Paulo, who's looking for successive gold medal finishes in this event, the men's VL2, looks like he's going to deliver exactly that. He's out in front, Fernando Rufinho de Paulo. It is Toffolini from Marão, and then here comes Haxton. The American is putting a surge in, and he's going to come through, I think, for the silver. Is he, Haxton? Oh, so close. So close. It is Rufinho de Paulo with another gold. We know that. Looks to the heavens. So Brazil do have that gold. Let's wait and see if Haxton could crack that second place. He came through for a brilliant finish. Well, you just called it, Megan. We've had a new Paralympic Games best time, 54.7. Rufinho de Paulo taking a couple of seconds off Haxton from earlier. And the American waits to see. Well, Toffolini has been given second in 51.78, 300ths. That's all that separates Toffolini and Haxton. And Marão just shoveled off the back into 4th place by a fantastic sprint finish from Blake Haxton. But we've seen a Paralympic Games best time and another gold medal in the men's VL2 for Fernando Rufinho de Paulo. It was almost the same 1-2 as Tokyo, but Haxton drops from silver to bronze, and it is Igor Toffolini gets second, Haxton with third. Oh, that was some finish.
Yeah, well, we've had a repeat of this year's World Championships podium. Same 1, 2, 3. Super performance from Rufinho de Paulo, just very dominant. Maybe not the fastest off the line, but really just powered through in the first half just to get himself into that position. There was no catching him.
So close again.
Yeah, you can see he's just taking his time just to get the boat up and running before he starts cranking on the stroke right there. So in control, doesn't even need to look up. Just looking exactly where the paddle's going to hit the water. And great effort here from the other Brazilian in this race, Toffolini, to break onto the Paralympic Games podium.
break into the scene entirely. He's a relative newcomer, isn't he, to the entire sport, Igor Topolini. They were the two quickest in their heats, Fernando Rufinho de Paulo and Igor Topolini. I mean, top three there separated by just a second and a third. So Haxton, 52.69, set that Paralympic Games best time in the semi-final, and then it comes down by a couple of seconds again, within the hour, by Fernando Rufinho de Paulo, with an explosive performance to win the gold medal again in the men's vast single VL2 division.
Well, this is where having teammates can be such an important thing. If you're the fastest two athletes in an event in the world, it's great to have each other as training partners. No doubt these guys work really hard together to get the best out of themselves and each other. And here we go. Yep. Manifesting double podium. Yeah,
the world champs podium becomes the Paralympic podium. Brazil, USA, Fernando Rufinho de Paulo, Igor Topolini, Blake Haxton. Morale shoveled down there into fourth. That was for second and third, wasn't it? The photo.
No photo needed for Rufinho de Paulo.
No.
That's what it's all about. Can't wait to see these guys on the podium. They should put on quite a show.
For sure, yeah. They're going to punctuate the rest of our races, actually, the victory ceremonies, as their athletes are given their medals. That's the Brazilians doubling their tally in the space of one race in para-canoeing here.
Mesdames et messieurs, la cérémonie des vainqueurs kayak KL 200 mètres dames.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women's kayak single 200 meters KL1.
Veuillez accueillir les médaillés.
Please welcome the medalists.
This is the women's KL1 victory ceremony here at Versailles. Well, they made this journey, these three athletes in Tokyo. Slight reordering of the podium this time around.
The medals will be presented by
Monsieur Jean Zungrana, membre du comité exécutif de la Fédération internationale de Canoë.
International Canoe Federation Executive Committee member.
Accompagné
by
Monsieur Jean-Luc Cochet, adjoint au maire de Vers-sur-Marne, en charge du sport et du handicap.
The appointed Sport and Disability Deputy Mayor of Vers-sur-Marne.
Médaillé de bronze, représentant l'Allemagne.
Bronze medalist, representing Germany, Edina Müller.
Edina Müller. She won the gold in Tokyo. She has the bronze here. There's a silver as well for her in Rio. Got the set. The 41-year-old from Hamburg. Germany, bronze in the women's KL1.
Silver medalist representing Ukraine, Marina Masula.
Silver again for the Ukrainian Marina Masula. Five-time world champion, two-time European champion, the Euro winner in Szeged this year. Paralympic Games podium, silver again. Second place in the women's KL1 for Ukraine and Masula, but let's salute our champion.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Chile, Catherine Follerman.
Wow. Let's salute the improvements from 4th in Rio to 3rd in Tokyo to 1st and the gold here in Paris to complement her World Championship gold.
Mesdames et messieurs, si vous le pouvez, veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne du
Wallerman
Chili.
wins gold
Please stand
for
if you
Chile.
are able for the anthem of Chile.
Well, that really is a fantastic gold medal, won by Catherine Wallerman. And Chile getting their first gold in in the entirety of these Paralympic Games in Paris on the very last day. That is a great story. Germany, Ukraine, Chile, bronze, silver and gold in the women's kayak single KL1. Back to the racing in the women's KL3 B final, the petit finale incoming.
Final B.
4 boats in this race, 2 from Brazil in the outside lanes, Uzbekistan and Iran. So it's a best possible finish of 9th here in the KL3 for these para canoeists. We've got Mari Santilli from Brazil in lane 3 at 46. A finish of 6th in the VL3, which was the debut boat division here. Another Paralympic Games for her 3rd. Chateau Merziova, lane 4, Uzbekistan. Made the final, the A final in Tokyo, but hasn't happened this time round. Shoda Baruzirad, Iran. Again, a 3rd Games, 9th and 7th. No better than 9th this year. Aline Furtado de Oliveira, 41 from Brazil, the 2nd Brazilian paddler in this race. Finished in 11th at the World Champs this year.
Please come to the start line. Please come to the start line.
A final just coming shortly after, which we'll see Laura Sugar try and win a gold again. Barbosa of France will be whipping up the crowd, and that's for sure. That's to come.
Thank you. Hold your positions. Ready. Stop. Stop. Just relax.
Well, your visual reference, for those of you back home, is the rippling flags, actually, in the previous victory ceremony. The wind has really picked up here.
Yeah, the conditions are not messing around at this point. It is becoming more and more of a challenge for these athletes as the program has progressed throughout day 3. Had a few athletes struggling with the alignment at the start.
And keeping on course mid-race as well. We saw with Varga in that previous A final. I mean, it cost her a medal, didn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, so now a component of cleverness is going to have to come into play for a lot of the remaining athletes who have yet to race on the program. It's not going to be just muscle memory. It's going to have to be some control of the steering as well in order to accommodate for these conditions.
Set.
We are good to go. It is a clean start here, the B final, women's KL3 here at Paris 2024. Superstar by Merziova there in the blue kit. She's just ahead of Baruzirad of Iran, the paddler in lane 5. Merziova there just to the left of centre. There she is. She has the edge from Baruzirad, and Santilli trying to make up ground over there in lane 3 for Brazil, and Aline Furtado de Oliveira in lane 6, nowhere at present. Baruzirad just can't quite get up there, half a boat length down on Merziova who looks like she's going to come in first here in this B final for Uzbekistan. Indeed, stretching out to a 3/4 of a boat length lead now for Shakhnozat Mirzieva, who comes in ahead of Charlotte Barizarad, and that's Santilli in the 3rd place. Furtado de Oliveira just bringing up the rear, but that was a nice fast start, and she got into that process pretty quickly. Did Mirzieva to win the B final. And Furtado de Oliveira comes over the line there for Brazil in lane 6 to complete the petit finale. That was reasonably impressive from Mirzieva. She's done it in 59.9. Nice quick time and a really tidy, clean race there from the Uzbekistani. They're coming home ahead of the Iranian Charlotte Barizarad, and then Santilli in 3rd.
Yeah, we got the positions decided pretty quickly in this B final. You can see just on the bottom of the picture, de Oliveira just really struggling a little bit with the conditions. She was only able to get strokes in on the right side of the boat for the first couple meters of the start there, which left her out of the competition here at the front of the field. First-time Paralympian, so definitely some notes for her to take away and apply to the rest of her career, because these 3 nice tight margins for them all the way down the track, but it was Mirzieva who had the best form here in the B final of the women's KL3.
Yeah, Uzbekistan, Mirzieva 59.9, Iran, Charlotte Barizarad 51.87, Brazil, Mari Santilli 52.66. The top 3 separated by just 1.67 there. And in Furtado de Oliveira finishes last. A final time. Again, 2 Brits in the race here, Hope Gordon and the defending champion from Tokyo, Laura Sugar, with Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Poland, Hungary also in this mixer. This is Amanda Embriazzo. She's in an outside lane, and that reflects her outsider status in this Olympic final. Does have a 4th at the Euros. Montemoro Veio in Portugal a year ago. Maria Araceli Menduna Santomé. Incredible to see her list of achievements. A European champion at 55. We have Hope Gordon, silver in the VL3 for Great Britain, world champs, silver medalist, 6 medals down the years at Worlds. Can you tell where Nelia Barbosa's from? That's right here in France. Silver from Tokyo. Laura Sugar. Now then, she's the favourite. Gold in Tokyo, world champs gold. She's won the last 4 of those in that division. That gives you a pointer as to her dominance in this boat class. We have Felicia Labara, 23 from Germany, bronze in Tokyo, 5th at the Worlds, but has been a world champion. We've got Katarzyna Kozikowska, 30-year-old from Poland here. Again, on the podium at the Euros, bronze, 4th in the KL3 final in Tokyo, and Molnar from Hungary, near side lane at age 33.
Thank you, ladies. Hold your positions. Ready, set.
KL3 A final, the gold medal race underway. Embriazzo, Menduna, Santomé, Golden, Barbosa, Sugar, Labara, Kozikowska, and Molnar. Look at this, Barbosa. There's going to be such noise bringing her home for France in lane 4. It's Nelia Barbosa, but Sugar hitting the front. And the cream is rising to the top in this boat division. Paralympic Games best time holder Laura Sugar, 48.14. She set it in qualifying comfortably from the heats, and she's out to a boat length lead, which is only going to be extended by the finish over Nelia Barbosa, but France is going to get a medal. Hope Gordon trying to hold on to 3rd place, but it's Labara coming through for the bronze. It's going to be Sugar bringing in another gold medal, their 4th of these para-canoeing events, and what a finish for Barbosa in silver. Labara comes through as well for a medal. She's done it again. She was the overwhelming favourite. Victory is as sweet as ever for Laura Sugar, and she has pulverised her own time. 46.66, Paralympic Games best time. Nelia Barbosa brings the house down. 125 down, but she has a silver. That is absolutely fantastic for the French. And Felicia Labara, 2:13 behind Sugar, makes that podium for Germany. Oh, what moments here for the French.
That was huge from Barbosa. I mean, she shot out of the block. She was going to throw absolutely everything she had at Sugar in order to try and upset the defending Paralympic and world champion. But there was going to be no touching Laura Sugar today.
Another repeat podium from Tokyo. Barbosa takes it again. 47.91, 125 down. I mean, to do it in front of your own supporters at your own Paralympic Games, it's a moment for the ages for Nelia Barbosa.
Yep, once in a lifetime opportunity for her, and she absolutely seized it. Hope Gordon would have hoped to be a disruptor here, I think. The second paddler from Great Britain. Coming off a silver medal performance at the World Championships, and I think she would have loved to convert that into a Paralympic podium appearance, but it was not in the cards for her today.
No, and she's dropped actually to 5th, I think, in that final shake-up there as Menduna Santame came home in the 4th place. A million miles behind Labara. But Sugar just too good again. Too good again. Labara gets another bronze medal. After Tokyo, Barbosa another silver after Tokyo, and Laura Sugar once more the champion.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the replay of this because it's really, I think, a testament to Barbosa's performance to see just how much strain she was getting on the paddle in the closing meters of the race in order to hold on to the silver medal. I mean, great images here of your Paralympic champion, Laura Sugar, out in front, just in command, wasn't she? Just so strong and untouchable. But look at these pictures of Barbosa just putting absolutely everything into every single stroke. Really trying to hunt down the Paralympic gold here, but this field coming back so strongly for those 3rd, 4th, and 5th place positions, just really, really tight between those athletes. Barbosa just really going tooth and nail there to hang on to silver. But the pictures of Barbosa coming up to the line in the slow-mo, it's really hard to get a sense of just how much she was really firing every single fiber of herself to get herself across the line in that silver medal position. So impressive from the French woman.
Well, fierce rivals, but great friends and competitors. And Labara just, that's the moment, isn't it? They realise they've done it across that almost sort of photo finish, close finishing. Don't quite know what position you've finished in once or twice, but moments of celebration now.
Yeah, well, Labara has been kind of dancing around the bottom of the podium this season. 5th at the World Championships and 4th at the European Championships. So maybe not as certain about where she was going to land in this field once it came time to compete at the Paralympics, but there she is back in that bronze medal position.
Sugar does it again. Another gold in the women's KL3 and in Paralympic Games best time too. Barbosa 2nd, Labara in 3rd, just like in Tokyo 3 years ago.
Mesdames et messieurs, la cérémonie des vainqueurs kayak KL de 200 mètres, dames.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women's kayak single 200 meters KL2.
Germany and Britain, with two athletes on the podium here in the women's kayak single KL2 category.
Les médailles seront remises par
The medals will be presented by
Monsieur John Edwards, président du comité Paracanoë de l'ICF,
Chair of the ICF Para-Canoe Committee,
accompagné par
accompanied by
Monsieur Richard Petit, secrétaire général de la Fédération internationale de canoë.
International Canoe Federation Secretary.
Médaille de bronze représentant l'Allemagne.
Bronze medalist representing Germany, Anja Adler.
Fourth in Tokyo, she gets on the podium here in Paris. Anja Adler, a 35-year-old from Halle, Germany. World champs bronze, and the same medal at the Paralympics.
Médaille d'argent représentant la Grande-Bretagne.
Silver medalist representing Great Britain, Emma Wade.
Done it again. Another medal to go with her gold in the VL2. Medal run at the para-canoeing that started in Rio. Won the KL2 there as well. Another silver in this event after Tokyo. Fifth Paralympic Games medal in total for Emma Wiggs.
Médaille d'or et championne paralympique représentant la Grande-Bretagne.
Wiggs was behind Charlotte Henshaw in Tokyo.
Paralympic champion representing Great Britain, Charlotte Henshaw.
Same here. Sometimes you just have to tip your cap really to someone that is utterly dominant. Double gold performance as well. She had the medal around her neck. Same colour medal in the VL3. Already made history in that boat class. First time it's been on the roster at the Games. 3 Paralympic races across Tokyo and Paris here. 3 race wins for Charlotte Henshaw, who takes gold in the women's KL2.
Mesdames et messieurs, si vous le pouvez, veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne de la Grande-Bretagne.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you are able for the anthem of Great Britain.
messieurs les médaillés paralympiques.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
Anja Adler of Germany bronze, Emma Wiggs of Britain silver, Charlotte Henshaw of Britain gold in the women's kayak single KL2. Last medals to be awarded come in the VL3 for men. 10 boat divisions here at the Paris Paralympic Games, and sadly, onto the last of them. B final first up. New Zealand, Argentina, Spain and Italy. Fifth in the KL2, the 31-year-old Kiwi. It's got Mark Liu, closest he came to podium fourth. KL2 in Tokyo, was there in Rio as well. And fast finishing Argentine, Emilio Tamanuk, so close to making the A final, the 40-year-old. 9th in the KL2. From Spain, Adrian Mosquera Real. He's 28 years of age, from Riancho. 14th and 11th in the KL3 on this boat, the VL3 in Tokyo. And Mirko Nicoli, 39, outside lane. Last year was a Euro Champs bronze medalist. Coming up through the middle there. He was close, wasn't he? Not far outside the qualifying places for the A final in this VL3 boat. So we expect fireworks from the Argentine here in this race, but Mosquera Real, no slouch either. And then Mark Liu and Nicoli just in the outsides. Highly anticipated A final coming up as well, with Yepi Fanolf and McGrath in those middle lanes. And a Frenchman as well, Abalabet.
Ready, set.
VL3 B final is clean away. That's the Spanish boat of Adrian Mosquera Real getting out quicker. Nicoli near side and last place at present. The battle likely to be between Argentina and Spain. It's being headed at the moment by Mosquera Real, but this is a Tamanuk that just really digging in and making it with every stroke. Mark Liu over there on the far side. Currently third, but Nicoli may well have him here. A Tamanuk comes through, and that's a real upping of the pace and crunching through the gears from a Tamanuk, travelling at around 14 kilometres an hour here, and gets that boat length lead over Adrian Mosquera Real for the B final win for Argentina. and then it's Spain, and then it's Nicoli, and then Martlou paddles over the line in last place. It rather went with form. 59.1 pretty quick as well, with the Tamanuk's finish there, and he comes in just over a second and a half ahead of Adrian Mosquera-Real. Nicoli took down Martlou for third place there. So it is an overall finish of 9th in the men's VL3 division here in Paris for Emilio Tamanuk of Argentina.
It looked like Scott Martlou just had some issues with his steering in the closing meters of this race. Given that he's such an experienced athlete, a 3-time Paralympian, as you've said, it really speaks to just how challenging the conditions are starting to get out on Versailles for these athletes. Coming out of the box, our first two finishers got themselves into a pretty good position pretty early on. Good start from Martlou that he wasn't able to hold on to as we got into the middle of the race. But Tamanuk just really narrowly missing out on qualifying for the A final, so no doubt coming out here with a point to prove in this B final. Went to work in the middle of the race, got himself clear along with the Spanish athlete Mosquera-Real. Now you can see there's the shot of the adjustment that Martlou had to make there at the end. Frustrating. But not for this man. Tamanuk coming home in the lead there for this B final. Good margin of victory for him over the Spaniard.
Saludo para toda Argentina, para toda la gente que nos sigue, a mi querida Gendarmería Nacional que me acompaña siempre, y le pido mil disculpas por no estar en esa final que tanto trabajamos. Pero bueno, el deporte es así, me dará revancha y ahí estaremos nuevamente para dar batalla. Los quiero mucho. Saludos a todos.
Terrific there. Message to the folks back home. Emilio Tamanuk is very experienced. World champs races. Fourth in Szeged in the VL3, so that's how close he is.
Yeah, all of our B finalists would have been in the A final in Szeged at the World Championships, but it just shows how the level rises when it comes time to race at the Paralympics.
Emilio Tamanuk, Adrian Mosquera-Real, Mirko Nicoli, Scott Martlou then 1, 2, 3 and 4 in the B final in the men's VL3.
Well, the French flags are flying.
Now then, have the French save the best till last? They will hope so. Let's be brutal about this. Abel is an outsider. He's in an outside lane, but right now, anything can happen. And the French hope that it does happen for them.
Well, they were delighted with a medal performance from another French athlete on day 3 as well. Barbosa bringing home a repeat silver for France. But this final in the men's VL3 is really going to be something.
I completely agreed. I mean, Curtis McGrath is going for the double, the repeat, but Giovanni Vieira de Paula, Stuart Wood, the other medalist from Tokyo, not competing this time around. So, you know, that blows it wide open, really.
Yeah, well, McGrath settling for bronze medals at the past 2 World Championships behind the Ukrainian, Yepifanov. Seems pretty unbeatable at the moment, but I'm sure the Australian will have something to say about that as we line up for the final.
France, New Zealand, China, Ukraine, Australia, Britain, Austria, Uzbekistan. A VL3 boat introduced in Tokyo. Not for the women, actually. The women had the VL3 here in Paris 2024 put onto the programme. That's contributed to the gender equality throughout the para-canoeing roster. And this is the last of our 10A finals. Goodness me, can he do it? Can he shake it all up? Abelabert for France.
Look at him just stirring up the crowd. You got to do it.
He's second in the Euros in Szeged. The Kiwi, world champ silver.
2024 silver medalist.
29. Peter Cowan there. New Zealander in lane 2. 22-year-old Pu Yi. Maybe in that bracket. Mark Dark Horse, 9th at the World Champs. Yepifanov, as you mentioned there, Megan, preeminent at the moment in this boat division. European champion, world champion the last 2 years. But what a competitor this guy is. We know that he doesn't get out the quickest, but he finds the space and he finds the speed. The KL2 champion here in Paris, adding to his medal haul from previous games in Rio and double gold in Tokyo. Jack Ayres, yeah, what can he do? This is going to be interesting. The 35-year-old there in lane 6, twice a world champ and European champ too. Mendes Svoboda, the 4th in the KL2, has come through the semi-finals here, so racing for the 2nd time today. Silver in the KL2 in Rio, 6-time world champion, and the world champs bronze in 2022, just off the podium in Tokyo. Kate Murat Shirkuziev, Uzbekistan, lane 8. This is going to be an inferno of a race. We're going to concentrate, I guess, inevitably on 4 and 5, Yepifanov and McGrath, but you can't rule him out. There's...
Yeah, well, with only 2 of our Tokyo A finalists coming back into this A final here in Paris, it's just opened the door for a whole new generation of paddlers. There's so much that we could say about the potential in this field before this race gets underway.
Hold your
There's
positions.
no way to guess how this is going to shake out, but
Ready,
we can't wait.
A final, men's VL3, Aber, Cowan, Pu Yi, Yepifanov, McGrath, Ayres, Svoboda, Shirkuziev. The action is all across the middle, and Yepifanov, as perhaps predicted, gets out quicker than Curtis McGrath, but he always makes it up a little bit later in the race. Pu Yi going as well, and look at this, Ayres coming through for Great Britain in lane 6. Oh, this will be absolutely sensational. Jack Ayres sprinting with the 4 golds already in the para-canoeing here in Paris 2024. This would be the most extraordinary of them all. It is Ayres coming through here. He's taking down Yepifanov and McGrath off the back. Over on the far side, Cowan as well going for 3rd place. There's a huge drift across the middle. McGrath is having problems and coming up to the line. Ayres has been taken by Yepifanov right at the final.
Did
Few
McGrath come back
strokes. Oh, and Cowan, has he held on there for the Kiwis for that bronze? I thought Ayres was going to gallop to a sensational gold there, but Yepifanov, the cream has risen, and Ayres with that Paralympic Games best time, 48.59. We knew Ayres had the power and the speed, but Yepifanov has come home quicker, and he has taken the gold medal again here. And McGrath off the back struggled, didn't he, with the drift. Cowan, yeah, makes it. And McGrath is off the podium. Jack Ayres, that's a quite remarkable silver medal for the Brit, just 0.38 down.
I can't believe it.
And that is a heck of a finish from Peter Cowan.
My goodness. Well, where to begin? There's so many things. Again, I wish we would have had more time to talk about the race before it actually started, because there were so many potential opportunities for disruption to the podium here. But here we go. Yepifanov shows his form, the reason that he's the back-to-back world champion in this event. And where did this guy come from? I think a lot of people are going to be asking themselves that. Jack Ayres, you have peaked at the exact correct moment, my friend. Coming off of a Paralympic best time in the semifinal for Jack Ayres. Really didn't leave Yepifanov much of a choice except to do him one better and reset that best time again here in the final.
The European champion, the world champion the last 2 years, does it again. I mean, where do these champions find that extra energy over the last few strokes? Because that's where he took down Jack Ayres, who came through incredibly well from about, what, the third of the way through. There he goes, dropping McGrath, who suffered with a little bit of drift, not unlike Varga, actually, who was on course for a medal in the women's race a little earlier. But McGrath, big favourite, drops off the podium entirely. And it's another indication, isn't it, of the progression of para-canoeing. The field's just becoming ever more competitive. You just said it, Jack Ayres, where did you come from, my friend? No one quite knows. But Britain do have another medal, a silver, but Yepifanov was just too good at the end.
Yeah, well, it can just be a matter of, again, we saw it earlier in the program of the para-canoe event, potentially just underestimating some of these newer athletes who are breaking into the sport earlier in their careers. No doubt McGrath is a professional. He's going to come in and give it everything he's got, but maybe just not expecting that kind of performance coming out of the bag from Jack Ayres of Great Britain. And again, having to deal with the steering. We've seen it a bunch of times today that some of these athletes have just really struggled with some of the conditions. It was a factor for McGrath, there's no denying that.
Brilliant win. What a sprint over the final few strokes. And I'm afraid France, we didn't mention Abel Labert too much, who has faded to 6th place in the final shake-up. But again, we're just a second, 0.86 down. That's how close they are. It was 0.38 between Yepifanov and Ayres to take it. A real champion's finish there from Vladislav Yepifanov. The 25-year-old from Smila. He's won the last 2 European champs titles and indeed the last 2 world champs titles.
Well, this is a big deal. I mean, our entire podium here in Paris is going to be made up of all first-time Paralympians. That is huge. And it says so much about where the sport is at and welcoming new talent into the sport all the time and finding new people and bringing them in and shaking things up. Huge achievements for all of these athletes who are making their first appearances at the Games.
What a final. A new Paralympic Games best time set by Vladislav Yepifanov of Ukraine, taking down Jack Ayres just over the final millimetres almost. And Peter Cowan of New Zealand relegates Curtis McGrath, his Antipodean rival, into 4th place. A great bronze there for Cowan and the Kiwis.
Yep. A lot of lines that the little camera bot would have had to draw on this picture in order to get everything sorted out. My.
600ths of a second between Cowan and McGrath. Whew.
That's brilliant. What a way to wind down the program. Well, wind up the program, really. It's a shame that we're not going to have any more races to follow that one, but really, what an ending.
It is. It really is.
Let's say hello to our media team over there in the tower. Hello.
And it's almost going to be goodbye.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much that. We've got victory ceremonies to come, but that was the last of A finals. Ukraine just about getting on to the gold medal, or making that gold medal category. Britain have ended with 4 golds. Brazil, Australia, Algeria, Chile, Hungary, Ukraine with the gold. Britain have led the medals table again here in the para-canoeing, but the super spread. France, crucially for the home support, without Nayla Barbosa's silver medal. Canada, that's the first time they've ever got a medal in para-canoeing with Brianna Hennessy. And Germany, People's Republic of China, USA as well. And New Zealand just about making it in the nick of time. 3rd in the last race there for Cowan. Victory ceremonies incoming to close out the final day of competition in the para-canoeing at Paris 2024. The bulky Brazilians taking gold and silver in the single VL2 category. I'm glad they wear different colour shades, because you couldn't tell them apart, those two. It's the same physique, it's the same beard, it's the same white baseball cap. Thank goodness they wear different coloured lenses.
Well, I think they probably planned the facial hair as a strategy coming to Paris.
That's our bronze medalist coming through, Blake Haxton. Brazil ending second in the medals table.
Les médailles seront remises par...
The medals will be presented by
Madame Edmonde Jardin, maire de Vers-sur-Marne.
Mayor of Vers-sur-Marne.
Accompanied
by
Monsieur Johan Defou, premier adjoint au maire de Vers-sur-Marne.
First Deputy Mayor of Vers-sur-Marne.
Médaille de bronze représentant les États-Unis d'Amérique.
Bronze medalist representing United States of America, Blake Haxton.
Silver in Tokyo, bronze here in Paris. Blake Haxton, the 33-year-old from Columbus, Ohio. Trailblazer really for the USA, won the nation's first canoe sprint medal at the Paralympics with that performance in Tokyo. Now has a club named after him back home in Ohio, the Blake Haxton Full Regatta.
Médaille d'argent représentant le Brésil.
Silver medalist representing Brazil, Igor Alex Toffalini.
He missed Tokyo, did Toffalini. He did compete on the lagoon at home in Rio, 9th in the KL2. VL2 provides him with a Paralympic silver though.
Médaille d'or et champion paralympique représentant le Brésil.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Brazil, Fernando Rufino de Paulo.
Done it again. Brazil's first gold in para-canoeing at these games. His second in as many Paralympic Games. There he is, the gold medalist after his 6th place in the KL2, wins the VL2. Fernando Rufinho de Paulo for the 2nd Paralympic Games in a row.
Please stand if you are able for the anthem of Brazil.
Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés paralympiques.
Ladies and gentlemen,
there we go.
Paralympic
Brazil only had the 2 medals across all para-canoe events before that race. Doubled their tally in the space of, what, 50 seconds, thanks to Igor Toffolini and Fernando Rufinho de Paulo. Blake Haxton with another podium finish in this race for the United States. There was an actual camera.
It's a GoPro. Hopefully logging all that footage so we can watch a documentary.
Yeah, sure.
I'd watch it.
Our penultimate victory ceremony here at the Para Canoeing comes in the women's KL3.
Mesdames et messieurs, la cérémonie des vainqueurs Kayak KL3 200 mètres dames.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women's kayak single 200 meters, KL3.
Well, this is going to be the noisiest ceremony. Of course it is, because the French paddler is on the podium. There she is. Nelia Barbosa, who came in silver behind Laura Sugar.
Seront remises par
The medals will be presented by
Madame Edmonde Jardin, maire de Vers-sur-Marne.
Mayor of Vers-sur-Marne.
Accompagné par
Accompanied by
Monsieur Jean-Claude Faure, conseiller municipal délégué aux événements sportifs de Vers-sur-Marne.
Sports Event City Councilor of Vers-sur-Marne.
Médaillé de bronze représentant l'Allemagne.
Bronze medalist representing Germany, Felicia Laberer.
Bronze for Germany. The 23-year-old from Berlin, Felice Laberer. This the same podium as Tokyo. Laberer adds another medal. And a European champs gold medalist, a couple of bronzes at Worlds as well. And now a two-time Paralympic bronze medalist.
Médaillé d'argent représentant la France.
Silver medalist representing France, Nelia Barbosa.
Fantastic shot that of Barbosa celebrating. There it is.
Yes.
She's got the big face.
Oh,
yes.
We love these. Such a great feature in the stands of all of the venues here in Paris.
Hadn't been given a shot of one of those today. The director had saved the best till last. That is brilliant. A silver again for Nelia Barbosa here.
Médaille d'or des championnes paralympiques représentant la Grande-Bretagne.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Great Britain, Laura Sugar.
She's defended that title from Tokyo, Laura Sugar. Bringing the Brits another gold, their fourth. Defending Paralympic Games champion Laura Sugar wins gold again in the women's KL3.
Mesdames et messieurs, si vous le pouvez, veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne de la Grande-Bretagne.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you are able for the anthem of Great Britain.
messieurs, les médaillés paralympiques.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
A repeat podium from Tokyo in the women's KL3. Labara, Germany, bronze. Barbosa, France, silver. Sugar of Great Britain, the gold. She has such a slight frame, Nelia. Where does all that power come from?
She's full of surprises. Look at her just working the crowd. What a pro.
Brilliant.
This has got to be up there with one of our best podiums at Para-Canoe. She's really running them through the whole show. Fantastic.
Don't lose your Frisian hat, though. Fantastic scenes here at Versailles. Our final victory ceremony here in the para-canoeing at Paris 2024 will to celebrate the medalist in the men's VL3.
200 meters VL3.
Men's VL3, that was an absolutely sensational final. New Zealand, Britain, Ukraine on the podium with Peter Cowan, Jack Ayers and Vladislav Yepifanov.
The medalists.
Les médailles seront remises par
The medals will be presented by
Monsieur Duane Cale, vice-président du Comité international paralympique.
Vice President of the International Paralympic Committee.
Accompagné par
Accompanied by
Monsieur Jean-Christophe Canoe, membre du comité paracanoë de la Fédération internationale de canoë.
International Canoe Federation Paracanoe Committee member.
Médaillé de bronze représentant la Nouvelle-Zélande.
Bronze medalist representing New Zealand, Peter Cowan.
Well, New Zealand get onto the podium right with the last place in the last race. Brilliant for the Kiwis. Peter Cowan, silver in the World Championship. It's quite the upgrade that. Previously, best finish of 8th. But here he is with the bronze at the Paralympics. Peter Cowan, bronze in the men's VL3.
Médaille d'argent représentant la Grande-Bretagne.
Silver medalist representing Great Britain, Jack Ayers.
What a performance. For a while it looked like he was going to get the gold. Jack Ayers also worked as a model and used to be in front and centre on a catwalk of a different kind here on the Paralympic podium. Silver.
Médaillé d'or et champion paralympique représentant l'Ukraine.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Ukraine, Vladislav Yepifanov.
The paddler at the top of his game. Two-time defending European champion, two-time defending world champion, and here he is just adding the gold at the Paralympics. A heck of a sprint finish to take the win. They've won a silver and a bronze prior to Yepifanov's first gold for Ukraine here in the para-canoeing at Paris 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you are able for the anthem of Ukraine.
Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés paralympiques.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
The podium in the men's VL3. Peter Cowan of New Zealand, Jack Ayres of Britain, Vladislav Yepifanov of Ukraine, the bronze, silver and gold medalists. Well, that wraps it up. We've had an extra event on the Para-Canoe programme this year. We've achieved gender equality, added 6 more nations into the Paralympic canoeing family, and another nation to the gold medal club. Britain were the most successful of the 13 nations that won medals. What a series of races we've had. From Megan Calmo and myself, Andy Bobfish, it's been a pleasure to have your company these last few days from Versailles. For the last time, it's à bientôt and au revoir.